Hey guys, this is Sock again with another video by my girlfriend who is actually now in Silver 3. She's been promoted from Silver 4 to Silver 3. And we're watching her play on Jace Encounter. For this specific encounter, you get a artifact anvil. And the artifact anvil can really change the direction of the game. In fact, it's actually a gold augment to get a artifact anvil, which means you're essentially playing up a gold augment. And when you have an artifact anvil, specifically you're looking for things that will help melee champions become ranged. So for example, if you get a fishbone, which increases attack range, champions like Violet and Nocturne becomes really strong because they can attack from a distance while being safe from the enemy. So this was good. You put in two of the same characters. That way, if you do need to sell bench, you can to make 10 gold. For example, if they drop a bunch of gold here, which they did not. So I think we talked about this, but you generally want to open up the anvil this round. And the reason why you want to open up this round is because the content of this anvil can tell you what augments to pick. If you get an AP item, you probably want to go AP route. If you get an AD item, you want to go AD route, etc. So if we look at these options, these are terrible options. The best one is probably Hole Crusher. Innervating Locket is very good on Urgot. There's also a interesting comp with Kog'Maw and Innervating Locket, but I don't believe she knows about that comp. No. So yeah, I think Hole Crusher is the best item here. So she gets all that shimmers, which is a S tier correctly augment because it just offers so much gold throughout the period of the game. So she picks up Gold Collector and she has a Shojin's on board basically. So this is really good and probably points at a AD comp. So I would be thinking about either Tristana reroll or Corki reroll. Seeing as how she picked up scraps, I think this would be best as a Corki team. Hole Crusher is very good on the front line as a tanky item. And you can make a Shojin's, to help with casting. Shojin's is also a pretty good item on Corki. So this is all really good combos. So if she wanted, she can also pick up that Vlad. Oh yeah, there you go. And it gives Watcher. She actually, okay, I guess she sells it. But you could have had 4 Watchers, but I guess that's quite far away, so that's understandable. But generally, if you can't make 10 gold or 20 gold or however many gold, just buy as many characters as you can, right? Because that gold's not making you interest anyways. And it could have been possible to get 2 more Vladimirs for a Vladimir 2. Potentially, it could have happened, right? So you want to hold everything if you're not going to go to the next level of interest payment, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, I guess you get a scrap value here. I probably still would have kept the Darius. The only reason why this is good here, and maybe this is what you were thinking, is that you can make 10 gold if you win. Right?
I don't know if I was thinking that at this exact moment. I was thinking more about just having the scrap trait being active. Yeah,
well, sell something. I don't know if you sold something, but in this case, you definitely.
But it would have been good to probably sell like the Aurelia.
Yeah. Aurelia would have definitely been the best thing to sell here. So from this spot, the biggest thing that I would be looking for is another bruiser, okay? Because the whole point is you have a Trundle, but he's the only front line that you have. You have 3 back lines and 1 front line. Ideally, you want a Steb. It's probably fine to put in the Loris, honestly. Okay, yeah, you did it. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you're saying that at that moment. I was noticing I had 3 back line and only 1 front line, so
yeah.
You saw I was looking at traits there, and I saw I had a Loris, so I figured, okay, let me just get the Loris and put him there. And you also see that I put him not immediately next to Trundle because that that artifact I got only works when he's not standing next to anybody.
Yeah, that's very good. The only thing here I would have said is you could have sold a Amumu and pre-leveled.
That's true.
And then you would have been level 5 at 2-5, which would have increased your odds for better champions. But otherwise, I think you did well there. Mm-hmm. So obviously what you should be looking for here is scrap units. That's probably the big thing because you have a Gangplank.
Yes. My eyes were on them. Unfortunately, both the scrap units got taken before I had a chance to go.
Yeah, that's understandable. So
I believe I ultimately picked the Cassie with the belt.
Yeah.
That's who I ended up going for because neither of the scrap units were available anymore.
That's fine. The nice thing about scrap is that they're like very flexible actually. Mm-hmm. So you can do a bunch of stuff with the belt.
I was figuring out what to do at this point. Like who I could add in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just put her back in to get Sniper back in there, I guess.
Yeah, that's completely fine. Like we talked about before, if you're winning, you want to keep on winning. And the way you keep on winning is by leveling up when you can and being as strong as possible. So here, you're level 5, which is perfect. You may actually have lost if you were level 4 because your opponent is currently level 5 as well. Yeah. So that was a good play. In fact, you actually made 3 gold back, so it's almost like you had a free level up there.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's actually one thing to think about as well. Sometimes when you level at like an awkward time, you'll lose 1 interest, but it might make you win a fight. And if it makes you win a fight, you get that 1 interest back, right? So again, here, if we look at it, the Steb is actually better than the Loris because your primary tank is okay. I guess you sold him, but that's okay. But you want the Steb, right? The Steb gives you Enforcer.
Yeah.
It also gives you Bruiser.
That's true.
But Bruiser is really good because right now your Trundle is a beast. Like your Trundle's the strongest thing on your board, basically. I guess Maddie's pretty good in terms of damage. But your Trundle is very tanky right now.
Yeah. I'll also point out that I got the Camille because she's both Enforcer and Ambusher, and at some point down the line I put her over Loris just to see if adding that extra trait helped.
Yeah, I mean Camille is fine, but Camille benefits your 1-star powder, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Steb would benefit your 2-star Trundle with 2 items, right?
True.
So
and would also benefit the 2-star Maddie being Enforcer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so here there's actually an interesting play. You found Steb and Twisted Fate. If you wanted, you could have pivoted towards a Enforcer route. Enforcer is also quite strong. And the items that you currently have on Maddie are actually very, very good on Caitlyn down the line. Yeah. And Maddie is actually a very good item holder to the point where she can hold those items until you get a Caitlyn, like all the way down the line, you know? But you also got a Gangplank, which is a very good scrap holder. Mm-hmm. So I think it makes sense to keep on going scrap like you're doing right now. So that's good.
So I know that's a good quirky item, so I put that on her as well for now.
Sure.
And as some extra tankiness, I put that on Trundle.
Yeah, I think those are good. Again, the only thing is like I would have picked up the Steb and put him in.
Makes sense.
Yeah. The other thing here is you are looking for a second scrap, right? You have
Yes. Yeah.
you have Powder, who's a 1 cost, but you also have Gameplank, who is a 3 cost. And the Gameplank is stronger. Also, you just made a Last Whisper, which means everything that does attack damage is stronger than stuff that does ability damage because the Last Whisper decreases people's armor. So Gameplank, who does attack damage, would have been perfect here, you know? Yeah.
So it could have replaced him with Powder.
Yes, you could have replaced Powder with him. Yes.
Well, yeah, just swapped them.
Mm-hmm. And then if you went that route, you could have also bought the Swain to get 2 Form Swapper. So here you have Power Up, which is a very good win more augment. The whole idea is you're already winning super hard, right? If you got Power Up, your next augment would be 1 tier higher. So everyone else gets a gold tier augment, you would get a prismatic augment. That's very significant, you know? Band of Thieves is nice because it's more components, which means your scrap units would get more shield. Sure, teaming up is fine right here because I guess you do get a component. Technically, I would have probably gone for lunch money.
Okay.
And the reason why I would have gone for lunch money is because you are so ahead, right? You're beating everybody. You would deal a bunch of damage to all of your enemy tacticians every time you win, and it will give you a ton of gold, right?
I was considering it too.
Sure, yeah. So if you're playing aggressively, which I feel like you should here, you could get lunch money and just go destroy everyone, basically. The other reason is scrap actually doesn't have too many 3 cost. The main 3 cost here is Gameplank, which you already have, right? So I personally would not have picked that, but it does give you a component, which is nice. So I understand the choice. Also, when you're picking augment, there's a consideration for being strong now and being strong later, right? There's certain augments that makes you strong immediately and others when you're down the line. So, for example, there's an augment called like late game specialist, right? Where when you get to level 9, you get 30 something gold. It doesn't help you now, but when you get to level 9, you become incredibly strong.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing right now is if you look at your board, you're extremely strong right now and you have Gold Collector. Okay?
Yeah.
So you just want to keep on being extremely strong because the stronger you are, the more units you kill, the more gold you collect. Right? And you're also on a 7 win streak. So that's something you want to consider when you take augments. What can I get to make myself immediately strong right now because you are doing so well? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
There-
it's just what can I do to make myself even stronger?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
continue this streak.
Yeah, but it's like make me even stronger right now.
I see.
Yeah. Like for example, there's a augment called Prismatic Pipeline. And what it does is during the next creep round, they drop like this really big orb that gives a lot of good stuff. Okay. Let's say I'm playing Chem Baron and I'm losing every single round. I want to get that because I don't want to win. You know, I want to stay weak. And then by the time I get to the creep round, then I get all this good stuff. Okay. I guess, okay. I think that's completely fine. You're just getting a higher cost person that can be scrapped.
Yeah, because at this point I had sold my original Loris, so and I think I was just thinking if I wanted to get him back. and I found there was a Zig. So at this point, I have the 4 scrap option. And I was figuring out. I think at this moment, maybe I didn't notice that I only had 6 people in. So then they just put in the Loris for me.
Yeah, I would say what you did was fine. The only issue here, again, is your game plank is right next to your Trundle.
Yeah, I mean, I did notice that once it began, actually. That, he's accidentally next to him, so the artifact isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, I'm pretty sure in the next round I move him aside so that Trundle doesn't have anyone next to him. Yeah, you see.
Nice.
And, yeah, I mean, Gangplank is Form Swapper. Big reason I put him in the front is just because I had way more backline people.
Yeah.
So I thought he would be better up in the front.
Yeah, I think you're fine here. The only thing I would say is, like, you could have picked up the Swain for another Form Swapper, right?
Yeah.
And that would benefit your game. I guess your powder is 2-star, so I think it's fine. But I probably would have still put in the gameplay, the Swain. Yeah. I guess the best thing though here is probably just finding like a bruiser, right? Because you still have a single Trundle in the front that's benefiting from scrap but not benefiting from bruiser, and he's your main tank.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So Corky came up.
Yeah.
At this moment though, I realized I had 5 scraps, so I think I spent some time figuring out what to do. I play around with putting Tristana there as artillerist.
Yeah.
But also, I think for the time being, it's a free round. I just put them back in.
Yeah, generally the first scrap you take out is actually Ziggs. Okay. So I would have gone down to 4 scraps by putting putting the Tristana and the Corky over the Ziggs and Zeri. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Do you know why Ziggs is normally the first scrap to go?
No, I don't. And actually, you see at this moment I got Echo, so this is when I realized it's a moment for me to get 6 scrap in there.
Sure.
So that's what I chose to do. As you know, I mean, Echo also gives Firelight to Zeri. And then, yeah, Tristana got put in there as my 8th person, which is good because it helps add in artillerist.
Yeah.
I will say in the next moment, in the next prep round, you will see me remove the items from Corky again just because I meant to put Last Whisper on him.
No, I actually think this was the best setup.
Actually, it's funny. I do end up taking that off. I believe I put the Shojin on. Since Powder was 2-star, I did put it on her, I'm pretty sure.
So here, it's actually pretty interesting. Little Buddy is actually pretty good because you do have multiple 1-star and 2-star, right? You have Trundle, you have Powder, you have Tristana, and you have Ziggs.
Okay.
Right? So Little Buddy would have actually been pretty good there because your main carries are the Corky and the Rumble, which are... Oh, okay. I guess Big Grab Bag is good because you are scrap and it gives you more stuff, which is good. Yeah. So, yeah, I would have put Last Whisper on the Tristana and just put the Tristana right next to the Corky, right? Because what Last Whisper does is it decreases defense of whoever you're attacking. So if Corky and Tristana are attacking the same person, Corky's getting the bonus without having the item, which means he can have another item and become even stronger. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, are you going to lose this one?
This may have been the one round that I lost.
That's okay.
I think it was the one round I lost.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably just because I didn't put all those items on that were on my bench.
Yeah, that would have made a big difference because not only does it make your character stronger, it also gives you more shield because you're playing scrap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with Echo, actually, I'm pretty sure I put Ionic Spark on him.
That's fine.
Rod Cloak. Yeah, so I'm just kind of looking through their characteristics again and their bust items.
Yeah.
Put that on him. Yeah, I put the Shojin on powder. Yeah, that's what I do in the moment. Huh.
That's fine. I think the main thing right now is you just have way too much gold, right? You have 79 gold, which could be rolled down to get better characters.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you got Elise, that would be really huge because Elise would give you Form Swapper.
And Bruiser.
And Bruiser, that's correct.
I get her, I want to say, in a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
So, and she does get put in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little better now. In previous patches, Elise was like an extremely contested unit. And I believe I told you before, but there's only 10 Elises in the whole game, right? So if someone else gets an Elise, you're less likely to get an Elise, which means you should roll down earlier in the game to get an Elise as early as possible. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I was seeing if maybe adding Dominator, help Zig might be something to do.
No. So you definitely want to have Tristana in because Tristana's an emissary, as well as adding Artillerist for Corky, yeah. And Corky is your primary carry, you know.
I think there was an element where I was very far ahead that I thought of just experimenting.
Sure.
With what I had.
Yeah, that's
fine.
fine.
Normally, if it's a bit more contested, you don't have that liberty.
Yeah. I think you're fine. Again, you just have a lot of gold. So the main thing right now is just to roll down as much as you can. Or at least to 50. Okay, I guess you're starting to do that.
So I wanted to find a Corky anomaly.
I agree. Yeah. That's actually not bad.
This was one I thought about.
Probably not. You probably just want something that does damage.
I did end up picking some attack damage.
Yeah.
Anomaly.
That's actually not bad. I like diving in because it stuns everyone for 2 seconds.
I think this is the one that I picked.
That's also fine, yeah.
So, as you see, this is where I start rolling
to
find people.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah, so I ended up, since I didn't have the Maddie anymore, I just took that out
Mm-hmm.
put her in.
Game plank. There's the Elise. Okay.
So I believe I put her over Blitz. Well, no, I meant to put over. Oh yeah, I did put over Blitz, but then I rearranged them again.
Okay, that's good.
I'm just kind of seeing what I think's better. And I mean, yeah, she does Form Swapper and Bruiser, which is nice.
Yeah.
I believe in a second I'm gonna sell the Blitz and put the Gargoyle on her.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. So the only thing here is you still have a 1-star Corky and a 1-star Echo. So generally how scrap... Oh, well, I guess you have a 2-star Echo now. Yeah. Your biggest damage dealers here are the Corky and the Echo. So it is nice that you have a Corki. You have an Echo 2 now. At level 9 is when you start looking for the Rumble. You can find him on 8 as well if you're lucky. But at this point, I would probably hold gold depending on how strong the opponents are. If you're playing at a higher level, your opponents might be stronger. But at this level, this is probably enough so that you're still winning, even though you're not doing anything to make yourself stronger. Oh, interesting. Okay. So that's fine to put it on the powder, but it would have been much better to put it on the Echo, right? Because the Echo is a 4 cost
Yeah.
2-star, whereas powder is a 1 cost 2-star. The other thing is Gameplank is normally played in the back line because he's actually a pretty good damage dealer. His frontline actually has been buffed recently, so you can play him frontline. But if you put him in the back line, Shojin's is actually a really good item on him. Okay. So what I would have done is she would have just got the fist, and then the Shojin would have gone gameplay, and the other item would have gone Echo. So here you actually have quite a few game planks. So it might make sense to just roll for a game plank 3, which it looks like that's what you're doing. Or I assume you're just trying to get a Corki 2, which makes sense. So right now you're still like lower level, so it doesn't matter. But when you have an Elise, the goal with your Elise is to always position her so that she stuns the primary carry. So when you look at when she casts, she stuns this big pile right here, which is fine. But ideally, you want to put her on the side so that she stuns the carry that's in the back directly behind her. Okay?
Yeah.
But that requires like scouting and stuff, which we'll talk about later. Oh, there's... Yeah.
So...
I mean, first of all, that Zeri, you know, you can just sell her at this point.
Yeah.
Right? And you can actually put Corki over the... Oh. Huh? Over the Ziggs, even now. Not the Corki, sorry. The Rumble. You want to put in Rumble as soon as you get him, basically. Because every 3 turns, he gets an upgrade. So if you put him early, he gets more upgrades.
I don't remember if I put him over Zig or Gangplank.
Okay.
You'll see in a sec.
Sure. So like I said earlier, when you want to take out one of the scraps for Rumble, normally it's Ziggs. Do you know why that's the case?
If I want to take one of the scraps out, it's him.
Yeah. Why is it not Powder? Powder is a 1 cost.
Not sure. I mean, especially because they're both magic
Okay.
people. So, I mean, this, I actually get the Archangel to put on Zig, so I guess I must have replaced the Gangplank, but should have kept him in considering he has, like, the Form Swapper
Yeah.
to help with Elise.
Yeah. So the reason why you take out the Ziggs is because Powder is an ambusher.
Yes, that helps Echo.
Yeah, so Powder... Yeah, it should be the Ziggs.
Actually, no, I took the powder out.
Yeah, but you see how you lost ambusher there when you took her out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the issue. Again, that's a really good item on Echo, so you want to make sure to give it to Echo.
Shojin?
Sorry, not Shojin. Jewel Gauntlet. I guess you didn't give it to anyone yet. Maybe you'll give it to Echo. It's
Pretty
also...
sure I give it to Rumble, actually.
Yeah, Rumble is good too, but in this case, you have a Echo 2 and a Rumble 1. So
Yeah.
I would be almost inclined to itemize the Echo first. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's true. Yeah. Ziggs would have been the better option because, I mean, he's not sharing Dominator with anybody.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. When you have ambushers, what Ambusher does is it allows your...
I put the Ionic Spark on Rumble as well, actually. That's what I'm doing right now.
I mean, that's fine. But again, Rumble is a one cost, whereas Echo is a two star.
I guess, yeah. I guess one star versus 2 star.
Yeah, 1 star versus 2 star. That's correct. So the other thing here, it's a very minor thing, but you placed Echo in a way where he had to walk further. So if we look at when the game started, the Gangplank walks up, the Elise walks up, and the Echo circles all the way around to attack, right? And he's actually your probably best carry because your Corki is still 1 star, right? So you're wasting like damage time on your primary carry, which is not ideal. Does that make sense?
I see.
Yeah. Small thing, but it does make a difference. Okay, I guess you won, so it doesn't matter too much. So that was good. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, proud of you.
Yeah.
So with that, she's promoted to Silver 2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
See you in Challenger soon, I guess. Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching. If you guys have any thoughts or areas that I did not mention that she could improve on, please let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Thank you. Bye.